Well, welcome to a bitterly cold day at Drayton Reservoir in Daventry. Now I know what you're thinking, Drayton Reservoir's got hundreds of thousands of fish in it, anybody can catch, and you'll not be wrong. Well, there's little things you can do to turn 1 or 5 fish into a red letter day during the winter. So without further ado, I'm going to concentrate on getting this fish in the net, then I'm going to run you through my top tips on fishing Drayton Reservoir in the winter. Right, I'm going to talk you through the Zig rig that I'm fishing on this particular session now. The depth is actually dependent on obviously the fishing situation you've got in front of you or what depth the water's out there. At the minute I've got 6 foot of 11-pound Corda Zig line. That's tied straight down to a size 10 Corda wide gape hook. The smaller the hook, the sharper the hook in my opinion. I've then gone through to a nice little bit of silicone tubing on the shank of the hook. This just ensures the hair is trapped nice and tight to the bait with a little tiny mainline yellow and black zigger on there to finish as a hook bait really. I have chopped and changed between the white, the red and the yellow through the session, and the yellow definitely seems to be the one that's working on this session. A little tip from myself though is, if bites do dry up like they do normally do in the winter, I like to tie a small micro rig ring on top of the zigger or the piece of foam that I might be using and attach 3 to 6 or even 9 maggots if you've got a buoyant enough hook bait on there, just to give that little bit of fleck of colour and that little bit of movement. It might just nick you those extra bites on a cold winter's day. I'll check the scales out on this little bad man. It's not the biggest I've had this session, but it's by far the prettiest. Well chuffy that one. When I come to Drayton Reservoir, I always bring more bait than I feel like I'm going to need. It's no good turning up to this venue with a small bag of pellets and expecting to get 100 bites off of it. It's just not going to happen. You need something that's going to entice a fish into your area and keep them grubbing about for hours. For this, I use Mainline Super Zig Mix. This creates a lovely creamy attraction in the water. To this, I'll either add maggots or sweet corn to give the spot some visual effect. And if you want to change over to bottom baits or pop-ups throughout the evening and night, it gives you the option to do so. Just a little tip from myself guys, is when I'm zig fishing, I use as tight a line as I possibly can get away with. So I take all the stretch out of the mono, I like to use a heavy lead so that any movement out there in the lake, I'll get an indication back on my alarm. Okay, sometimes when you're zig fishing, you either get false indications or you get little tiny line bites that in my opinion, you need to check. Like I've already mentioned with tight line situation, sometimes a take can be all just one indication on your alarm. So I always make sure that I check the rig either 5 or 10 minutes after I've had some sort of indication to make sure that there isn't a fish sat on the end. So what I'm going to do now is recast this rod, get it back out there and see if I can nick another bite. Happy days. Well, check this little guy out, probably 14-15 pound, taking a little 6-foot zig with a mainline yellow zigger, probably 120 yards. The fish have now pushed back further than the spot I was fishing, so a single zig out at range was all that was needed to tame this little fella. So I'm going to slip him back, see if I can bag another before we go. Well, here's a perfect way to finish off the session and another example of how devastating zigs can be, especially during the winter months. If you haven't given them a go yet, give them a go yourself and I'm sure you'll reap the rewards. Check his little scale patterns out. It's not the biggest one I've had. It's definitely the liveliest.